Woo! Hello. Welcome to another episode of Let's Make a Comic Book, where we will be making a comic book with a different artist for every single panel. And we've got Adam and Jonathan here tonight to help us. And we've got Sis.
Oh.
And Sis is muted because he's sick and can't talk properly. So we will be minus the classic scissors tonight. But let's get on with it and have a look at last week's page where we had Alex Major doing another one-panel romance with the octopus called Whale saying your eyes, and Bitzy saying my bits are bitsying, and the spacesuit, the robot body's got a little heartbroken thing. And then Dr. Yarn had the earth-shattering kaboom where wow, that's what I call fireworks. And then Zach George with the Bitzy floating in space and the tentacles and the no. And there's some Bromon comics in the background and a little engagement ring floating out in space too. So that's where these guys will be carrying on from. And to do that, we have to do a wheel of layouts. So I'm going to click it now. And we'll see which one we get. Yay. So that's a nice and easy one. And I will put that into the thingamajig so they can download it. You just hold on, copy link, and into the private chat, paste. So that's there for you guys. And I'll just have a look at the comments while they download the things.
That's it.
And we've got David Shembry, hey guys, feel better soon, sis. Andrew Law with the woohoo. And the no, feel better, sis, from Shawnee. Okay, so now it's time for the hand of choosing to choose who goes first. And we'll get Adam to choose a number between 1 and 4.
Let's go 4.
4 is number 1, so you go first.
Awesome.
So, did you get the thing?
I did. I'm doing it
cool.
by hand, though, so I just double-checked the dimensions, 11.4 by 15.3.
Yes.
Sweet.
And so, while Adam starts working out his layout, we'll have a talk with Jonathan. And tell us about the True Tales of the Wild North.
Yes, there was a bit of a early comic book that me and Timothy Parrish are going to be working on. As some of you may or may not know, I'm one of the co-creators of Wild North Comics, a Darwin-based independent comic book publisher here in the Northern Territory, and I'm also the creator of 0 Point Origins. So you can buy all 4 issues of that available on wildnorthcomics.com. But yeah, so the newest project me and Tim are working on is tentatively titled True Tales of Wild North. And yeah, it's kind of it's a history comic about the wild tales that happened here in the Northern Territory. So it's so the aim is to have it be a kind of a an educational comic, but not in a boring sense. So we're working with very well-known territory historian Don Christopherson to
cool.
is giving us great research and amazing stories up here, and we're hoping it will be a really fun, exciting read, and it'll give also you lot down south an idea of just how wild the territory can be, or how it was back in the day, and maybe hopefully in the future as well.
So is that like kind of like true crime, or like?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's kind of like true crime, where it's like taking real historical events and obviously retelling them with flair, and obviously with a a comic twist into it. I think it's just really I feel that I guess it's comics are a great vehicle for not only storytelling, but also I feel for talking about history and real life events, because you get the you get one of the advantages is that you can show pictures like actual maps and diagrams and photos of what happened, as well as illustrating the story that's happening. So yeah, and I know that again, just from my own personal comic book reading experience with things like seeing what Darwin Cook did with DC's New Frontier, and weaving real history with the fantasy elements of the superhero genre. It was really exciting. Though with True Tales, it's going to be all real stuff. So yeah, as I said, literally just starting on that. So I'm working out the stories, in which the hardest part is actually going to figure out selecting what stories we're going to tell, because there's just so much history here. So and if it does well, then hopefully maybe that's something we can continue on as well.
That sounds cool. So what did you what was the inspiration behind doing a book like that?
I guess it was just trying to think back what the inspiration would be. I think it was just more of a just looking at just trying to just realizing that I think we were talking to Don about another project, and obviously we brought up that we were we make comics, and and I think it was just brought up that kids kids are going to be more receptive of reading comics, and obviously especially probably kids probably read more manga now than comics, but still it's a visual medium, and easy to pick up, and it's a way to make history seem exciting and fun. I know it can be a bit boring just looking at textbooks, so adding some exciting imagery will help with that. And and I guess maybe for me as well, like I grew up reading The Phantom, and like a lot of Australians, and a lot of those books were had a very pretty much would like take real historical events and then just like put the Phantom in there somewhere that is running around behind the scenes, or one of his ancestors were, I should say. So yeah, I think that there's a very clear, especially with comics, that history and comics and mixing the two has always been very has always been it's always been something that's been done. And as I said, just like one of the things with True Tales is that we're looking at history that hasn't really been told. So again, it'll be something. It's not going to be the same old, like stories and things that you'd see in a lot of the history books up here. It would be like new stories. Don't ask me to say which stories it is. We're still selecting it, but also on it, leave that as a surprise when the book comes out. but yeah, so I think that's going to be a really great project. Sorry, Adam, I was going to say, which panel did you choose again? The top or the bottom?
Top one.
Top one. All right, I'll go to the bottom.
How's your drawing going, Adam? You got
Pretty
anything
good
to
so
show us
far.
yet?
It's just pencil. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it. Let me
And bring it up full screen, sis.
see if I can get an angle on there. It's a bit faint, but you got Bitzy reaching out and grabbing a blown off piece of tentacle.
Ah, nice.
Is Bitzy going to say anything? Or
Undecided. Give me a few seconds.
Yeah, now I'm going to try and think of something now.
so you got 18, draw some legs. We've got a leg request from Nick May, who was one of the designers of Bitzy, who
Yes.
did the nice and simple to draw robot legs, which everyone loves drawing.
That's it. So, sorry, Adam, is Bitzy in your panel in their robot suits or still just floating as a cat?
Yeah, because she's in space.
So I think in the last panel she was floating freely. So
Yeah,
I have her out of her suit.
Oh, yep.
I could put it up again.
I also have a leg just for Nick.
Yay.
Okay.
Blowing off the rest of the body.
Yeah, the body, that's it.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Okay,
Are you doing speech bubbles, or are speech bubbles taboo? Sorry, thought bubbles.
You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, that's it. The Garfield principle.
I gotta do a thought bubble for Bitzy, thinking that she has to reach her leg.
You got a U-Rock for Adam from Nick May for putting in some legs, or one leg. So, Adam, tell us about Sobek Lives. What is it? Explain yourself.
It is a comic that I've been working on for the past few months about the Egyptian god Sobek, who's the god of crocodiles, who decides he doesn't want to be in heaven anymore. He wants to live on Earth, and he gets a job at a secondhand bookstore. So it's coming along nicely. I've done the that's the cover so far.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's coming along nicely. I just need to do some digital corrections on the art there and the lettering, and color the cover, obviously. But yeah, so I've been working on that since before Paper Cuts Comic Festival last year. So probably going on over a year now. So that's since I've started working on it. So yeah. Comics takes time.
Sure does.
Yeah.
So again, I'll ask what was the inspiration to have Sobek in doing stuff?
I was doing some digging through some old art, and I found like an old D6 role playing game called Champions that I used to play a lot when I was a teenager, and one of my superhero characters was like an anthropomorphic crocodile who was part crocodile, part cockroach, called Crockroach.
That's great.
And I found some art of Crockroach, and I was going to do a Crockroach comic, and I was umming and ahhing and toing and froing, and then as these things do, other crocodile stories sort of kept creeping into my head, and I got this idea for Sobek, just sort of crept in. So Cockroach got put to the side, Sobek got worked on. So
Awesome.
yeah, that's where the original idea came from, trying to do a comic with a different crocodile character.
Did you ever do any like pages or anything for the Cockroach character or work on a story?
I didn't do any pages. I worked on some different plots, trying to figure out like what sort of story I wanted to tell, um, or even if I wanted to sort of stick close to the character as it was when I played the character in the game, which I found very quickly I wasn't really interested in. So I tried to redesign the character. So I did I did a redesign on the character, which I thought was pretty cool. But then I think that's as far as my interest went, and I was already thinking of doing Sobek at that point, and um, so he just sort of like took precedence. This was the redesign that I did on Cockroach,
Oh, that's awesome.
which is a really cool sort of thing.
Mm.
I even sort of ummed and ahed about having him be like the size of a cockroach. So, but nothing that I could think of would have been much more than just like a few pages of silly fun. So, but the Sobek story sort of just started niggling away and slowly built up from there. Actually, I had the bookshop setting from years ago when I was trying to do like a slice of life comic set in a bookshop, and they kind of just it didn't really go anywhere. Cockroach didn't really go anywhere, but Crocodile in a bookshop piqued my interest. So
You've got a May the Drawing Gods Be With You All from Rob O'Connor.
That's it. Definitely need them.
Hope Cockroach makes a comeback in the future from Nick May.
yeah,
Excuse me.
I hope so too. Yeah,
That's a great design.
thank you. Yeah, super fun. I had a lot of fun drawing it. I think my daughter and I sat down and we were playing with the alcohol markers, and yeah, the original Cockroach design was much more 90s comic book, you know, like he was this mean looking crocodile and he had like the black chitinous armor on his chest and arms. But I did the outside of the black armor, there was nothing really cockroachy about him. So I thought I'll make the redesign tried to make him more crocodile crossed with a cockroach as opposed to just anthropomorphic crocodile in armor.
Nice. Sis, do you want to bring up Jonathan's screen so we can
Oh yeah.
see what he's been drawing? Oh, I've got some perspective grids.
Yeah, that's it. I figured, add some more drama to the scene by having a. Well, I got to try and design a cool-looking alien spaceship.
It's like the start of Star Wars when it goes over the top.
Yeah, that's it.
That's very cool. And we got a leg there for Nick.
Yeah, that's it. I thought it would be fun to, keep that, show bits of the suits all smashed up.
some nice battle damage on the robot.
That's it.
So, Jonathan, you were saying you had some more 0 point stuff coming
Yeah,
down the pike.
Yeah, down the pike. Yes, I'm just starting to write the next series that follows after season 0, which will be kind of a bit of a retelling of what you'd seen in the animated web series, but obviously one of the good things about comics is that you don't have to worry about budgets, so I don't have to because I loved working on season 0, but the thing is that we only had like a small budget for like to do like a 26 4 6-minute episodes, or 26 minutes or whatever it was, and it just meant that like you're constrained by money and time. And one of the good things about comics is like you don't have to worry about that as much. It's probably really more the greatest cost if you're doing comics yourself is just time. So continuing that story, and one of the good things as well is that I can then go past that point in season 0 and continue the story on from there. 0 point finding out more about the conspiracy and what happened to his father and all that. But I'm just writing the outlines for that now, and as I said, probably you won't see the comic until next year. But I'm working on a short short animation film as well. So So, and of course, True Tales of Wild North.
Nice. Got a wave from Jonas Olsen in the chat. Hello, Jonas. What else is good? So, Adam, have you read any good comics recently?
I have actually. I read Kent State by Durf Backdurf.
Oh, cool.
Which was a phenomenal read. Hard to read, like it's pretty tough subject matter. But like I was reading it, I just didn't really know the history of the whole Kent State shootings. But like I was reading it and like just getting this rising anger when I was reading it, just like how could it like get to that point? And then you turn on the news and you go, oh yeah, that's the world, and it's been the world forever. But excellent non-fiction comic book. Really, really good.
And Durf did the My Friend Dharma book.
Yeah.
People might
I read that one recently as well. Also very good. Yeah.
Also a story of how did it get this far? Why didn't anyone help that kid?
Yeah, it's that one's almost a little bit heartbreaking too, because they kind of only really friends with him because he amuses them, like no one, not even his parents, seem to really take any care for his well-being or anything.
Yeah, there's a lot of points in Dharma's life where like someone could have stepped in and put him in therapy or something.
Yeah. I first read his book Trashed, which I really loved. It was recommended to me by Ross, who owns the local comic shop here in Adelaide. One of. And they just got me on the Durf train. I picked up all his stuff and yeah, really cool stuff.
Nice. And what about you, Jonathan? Have you had time to read anything?
Yeah, I finished the recently. I finished the kind of the what was it called? The man who created Superman. I'll just see if it's on my shelf. But it's the bibliography comic about Joe Shuster and Jerry Siegel, and how they created Superman, and unfortunately how National Comics, which would then become DC Comics, screwed them over. And like I always knew that they were kind of really gypped hard, like they've been effed over by DC regarding Superman, the rights for Superman, but I didn't realize just how bad it was, and that it was really thanks to the efforts and the like fan publications and magazines in the 70s when the first Superman movie came out that they actually were got public recognition and got the byline credit in the first Superman movie. It's kind of really harrowing read to see these two guys from Cleveland who kind of created this entire genre and a character that's going to be around long after we're gone, just get completely shafted and but I guess unfortunately that's that happened a lot in the comic book industry in the golden age and silver age, and I think obviously there's still stories of that happening in the bronze and modern age as well. It's like Jack Kirby said, comics will break your heart. And and also I've been I haven't read it yet, but I was gonna read the next chapter of Chainsaw Man. I've been keeping up with that. That's been a wild ride.
I like the way the Chainsaw Man artist draws the figures. In motion and stuff. They look really cool.
I also want to try and finish Fujimoto's other work, Fire Punch, which is kind of people say it's more wild and out there than Chainsaw Man in terms of its concept and the world he builds. I really loved his he did another short story that's just animated now. What is it? Get Back or something, where it's about two girls, friends in high school that go on different paths to become manga artists, and without spoiling too much, tragedy strikes, and then it's about dealing with that, and really great story. You can I think you can read that for free on the Shonen Jump website.
Cool. And we've got the hands on a covered scissors up for these. There you go. From Lee Chalker. How's your drawing going, Adam? You got any more progress to show us?
I do.
Oh, here we go. Oh.
Nice.
That's very cool. I like the spanner.
Needs to be a spanner. I don't have as much floaty debris as this one. That's cool.
It's good because your one's a tight shot, and then it draws back for Jonathan's, and you can see all the extra stuff.
I'm just going to take another crack at the, since we already got kind of a nice retro look for the robot body, maybe I'll do something, classic flying saucer type shape.
Oh, cool. You got a haha, the leg is the feature. I'm Shawnee.
I wonder.
I'll just quickly add in there with my croaky voice. You don't have to finish it during the show, so don't feel you need to rush.
Good to know.
Thanks, Sis. So is there any questions from the chat that anyone wants to ask our awesome artist tonight? That circle tool's such a pain when the
Yeah, that's it. I've just wondering if I've never used it with the perspective ruler.
I always turn the perspective ruler off and then eyeball it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just wondering if it might, because I know that. Yeah, I was hoping it would stick to the perspective ruler, and it'll just be a nice, easy insert perspective. But yeah, I'll have to.
If you get it
eyeball
like, if you get it like how it was, and then you can shrink it down to the size.
Yeah.
That's the one thing with the Clip Studio that's really hard to do is the stuff like that. Like if you've got a circle template and you're drawing on paper, it's so much easier.
It's so much. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it's. Yeah, I don't think. Obviously, as nice as these tools are, there's sometimes the old ways are best.
We've got a sup guys from Nathan, and so much pressure from Nick Name. So is your panel going to have any words in it, Jonathan?
Probably not, just because I don't know. I kind of like. I mean, I could add something, So can what was it? Hang on, just see. Oh yeah, I was gonna say. Blitzing could speak, because I wasn't sure if it was like Garfield rules or not, where they speak by. Well, it speaks by thinking.
No, it's a Bitzy can definitely talk.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe I can. I'll add something. If not, even a thought bubble's kind of nice.
What kind of heathen are you? Like mode, dear God. And then we've got a haha. And Andrew likes darkness like me. We got the tractor beam in.
That's it. Yeah, no, you can't. It's that classic imagery. You gotta have the tractor beam.
Loving where this is going, guys.
Thanks, Sis. So we've got Drink and Draw is on tomorrow, and it's the Fantastic Four. So anyone who wants to send in a drawing, there's a fan art link thing that Scissor's going to put up on the screen in a second.
I kind of pre-did my Fantastic Four. I don't know if we call it fan art, but the thing when I did the Plastic Man drawing.
You could just change the costume.
That's it.
So
I did that. Yeah, I did that other one where the classic meme of the Chad and the crying Wojak, but obviously put. See if I can find it.
But just while you're looking for that, it's comics.show/art for sending in your art to go on for drink and draw. And if you've got some Bitzy fan art that you want to send in, it's always welcome for the show.
That's the one I did for the last drink and draw.
Oh, yeah.
For the Plastic Man one.
That's great. That looks like very Kirby, the Reed Richards.
I tried to make Richard look Kirby-esque while still keeping it, in that style of that Wojak, and then tried to keep that kind of, that very bold style of that Cole did when he, did Plastic Man.
Nice. Got a comment from Andrew Law. It's the local space fish and chip shop looking for calamari.
That's it.
That's a good twist. And we got Dave Dye. Good evening, all. Good evening, Dave.
Hi, Dave.
Oh, and there, after Drink and Draw on Monday, there's the recent reads where we'll be talking about comics that we've recently read. Make sure you tune in. And yeah, if you want to be on recent reads or on Let's Make a Comic Book and any of the other shows, there's a comics.show/interest, and there's a little questionnaire thing that you can fill out, and we'll get you on whatever show you want to get on. Who are hitting the inks.
Oh, pencils. I mean, I could be bold and do some inks. Actually, yeah.
So many ways I want to tell this story to go, but good thing I'm on mute.
You're doing great at being muted, Sis. Now's the point of the show where we just watch people draw and don't talk. There is something really magic about watching someone else draw.
Yeah, no, I don't feel magical having to. I always feel self-conscious drawing in front of an audience.
Yeah. I love the silence. Keep talking. And we've got Robbie with Hale. What's everybody been reading lately? Question mark. We've already gone through that one. But thanks for... Oh, we got the Hive of the Albino Grub. I've got my one too. I haven't read it yet though. Oh, with some bland. Have you read those, Sis, or are you just collecting them? We got to thank Sis.
I will be reading over the weekend or Monday.
I've read some really good Australian comics recently as well. I read Eventually Everything Connects by Sarah Firth, which is a really good series of essays. Fantastic art, and really, really thought-provoking stuff. And Mandy Ord's most recent collection, Bulk Nuts. Yeah, that's such a good book, that one. I really enjoyed that. Bulk Nuts was great too. Mandy Ord's one of my favorite artists. I love her black inky style. It's really great. And I read In Utero by Chris Gooch, which was great. Great sort of it's like existential sci-fi horror. It's really, really good. Really good. Published by Top Shelf. And like a bigger profile than his previous books published by them. So like the art's really big. It's really great.
Cool.
Really enjoyed all of those. Would recommend all 3 of those books.
There you go. Is anyone in the chat?
I was sorry. Go on.
Just anyone in the chat read anything they want to recommend real quick while we're doing stuff? Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say I was lucky enough that Chris Gooch provided the pull quote for the back of Koi, which was really like a really lovely quote that he provided. And then Jeff Lemire, who is one of my favorite cartoonists, did the pull quote for In Utero. So
cool.
I'm like, now I'm basically best friends with Jeff Lemire. It's just how it works.
It's true. And we got a thanks, Adam, from Robbie. And he will, from now on, be known as Adams. We've got Andrew Law. Witchblade issue 2 was a good read. Oh yeah, there's a new Witchblade. Well, it's good that it's good. Can we get a look at how Adam's drawing's going? Nice. You're gonna add a background in on the computer?
Yeah, gonna I would normally do a combination of big fat black texter and white marker for space scenes, which is how I did Koi. But my big fat black marker has run out of ink, so
No.
so I'll do it. Digitally. I'll fill it with the bucket tool, my favorite tool.
It's the best when it works.
And add some stars in there. Yeah.
Yeah, just realised, it's in space, so that's going to be fun to get that contrast, not lose the details, but still have it look spacey and black.
Yeah.
Plus, the bucket tool is the bomb.
We got Dave Dyes. I just finished Mycelium Complex 3. Very nice. I need to get that one. So how long have you been drawing comics for, Adam?
Recently, since about 2017, 2016. Prior to that, since before I can remember, I took a very long break. Someone that I'm sure cared for me very deeply once said to me, I'm paraphrasing because I can't remember his exact words, but you're never going to make a living as an artist, so you should just give it up. Because you're not very good and you're not going to make a living, and you should go and do something that you'll, actually. And this is a conversation that so many creative people have had with parents, and
I was going to say, was my dad talking to you?
yeah. But like silly me, I really took it to heart, and I just sort of gave up and didn't draw for years. I dropped out of art school. That was in 2000, and outside of like the odd doodle, didn't really do anything until 2016 when I illustrated a role playing game for a friend who talked me into it. So that sort of got me back on the drawing train, and then I found out there was a drawing, like a social comic book club here in Adelaide called Comics with Friends and Strangers, and I just sort of went along to my first meeting, met a whole bunch of fantastic people who I count amongst my friends now, including Shaden. And yeah, like when you're amongst so many other people who have got the bug for drawing comics, that's infectious. Like especially when you already loved it when you were younger and still love it, So yeah, I started seriously filling my spare time with just comic drawing in around 2017, and have done heaps of zines and a few published comics since then. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
We've got some more comments here. We got Nick Mays read some Dave Dyer, Lee Chalker, Stu Thornton, and Ian Blyton. Be interested to see Ian Blyton's new comic. And Nick May again with, I love that advice, gave it to myself. And Andrew Law, you're never going to make a living from making art, so you might as well make comics then.
That's it.
Yeah. They're guaranteed to never make any money if you start making comics. Your panel's looking really good there, Jonathan.
Thank you. Yeah, I always feel, as I said, it's always a rush to get something, out fast but looking good. But I think that's really good, exercise as well, because I think, one of the bad things about digital art is that, unlike, physical media, you can do this and get really into the details. Then once you finish, you zoom out. It's like, oh, okay, I just wasted all that time for something that's you're not really going to see, and in fact, is going to make things messy. So, doing things quick and fast, and just on the seat of your pants is always, I think, a good exercise. Any aspiring comic creator should, give that a go. Yeah, don't be like, afraid of making everything like, look perfect. Like, I even know the first 0 Point comic is issue 0 that we call now is, still sells a lot. I personally can't stand to look at it because to me the art looks like garbage, but other people like it, and ironically, I love seeing, my favorite artists, like where they started out in their art journey. So yeah, as I said, don't be afraid of falling into the trap of saying, oh, I want to make a comic or animation, but I'm not ready, or my skills aren't good enough. You get good skills by doing it.
Mm-hmm. Everything you just said is true. They're loving getting this spanner.
Yeah, because I saw that in Adam's work, and I just like, oh, there would be a nice bit of continuity there.
Mm-hmm. Got Jeffrey, g'day legends. I'll watch the repeat tomorrow. Thanks for dropping in. Then when I first started using Clip Studio to draw actual comic books, the amount of times I zoomed right into something to get all this detail in, and then when you see it printed, and it's just gone, it's just turned into grey.
Yeah, that's it.
All the little stuff. So you spend days and days drawing this one thing, and then no one ever sees it.
Yeah. Now that's I remember falling into that trap when I first got Clip Studio. And like as I said, it's still a great program, and it's like probably I think I'm using it more for animation as well. Just because I'm so used to drawing with it, doing comics and things, that just carrying it over to animation to me seems like the next best step. Do that.
Got a comment from Shawnee. So yeah, I'm trying to work on not worrying about how much skill I like, and do the work, and finally starting to have fun again. Well, that's good.
That's it. That's the main thing. As long as you're having fun.
And we'll just show this again because it's our favorite thing that Shawnee made, just to show you Shawnee doesn't lack skill.
Oh, nice.
That's fantastic.
That's awesome.
It's the best. Let it play through once more.
I could totally hear like an 8-bit soundtrack in my head watching that.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Oh yeah.
Now, trying to find a cheat to do the stars. And I'm just trying to think. Here we go. Blurred spray. Yeah, that's the other thing, because you can do cheats like this.
Yeah, that's how I did it. I got a blushing face emoji from Shawnee. So we're getting to that time of the show where you guys send in your work in progress to Sis, and then I'll mock up the page, and we'll get a look at what it's going to look like when you guys have done all the fine details in later.
If it's easier, just send it to my messenger.
And while you guys do that, I'll get the comics shop thing open. And then we can have a look. I'll go present, share screen. And there we go. There's some new stuff. Some Bristlemouth. There's superhumanity that Sis looked at on the last episode of.
Oh yes.
Bruce Reed.
I did the story for God, I forgot the name now. Because I was a writer on the Super Australians book. God, I've forgotten the hero I wrote.
It gets like that.
Yeah, he's the guy with the parasite powers.
So if you want to support the comics shows and all the artists and stuff that are on Drink and Draw and Let's Make a Comic Book, this is a great place to go, and it helps support the cost of actually putting these shows on and hosting the websites and all that other stuff. You got the new poo heads.
This is so cool. I remember going into the newsagent when I was a kid and there being like 4 Australian comics on offer. And now so many cool comics by so many cool creators.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Just over 130 titles to be exact.
Wow.
So that's
Yeah, just nuts.
Everything okay, Jonathan?
yep, just putting the final touches. So I'll just send that now.
Okay, cool, thanks. Just thought I'd check.
Yeah, no, I was just trying to remember how to do this kind of technique I saw. Yeah, I'll just send it now. So save. Just turn my screen off so that way people don't see my file structure. And also, I didn't. That's it. And I did this all, as they say, at raw dogging. I didn't save or have this saved at all. So good thing my Clip Studio didn't crash.
Oh, that one looks cool. There's Jonathan's name.
That's it. Yeah. So that was great fun. As I said, Chris reached out to me years ago, and had a lot of fun. Yeah. So the character I did is the guy on the right hand, right. Wait, it'll be out left. It'll be my right, and the character's left. But it's got the big, giant hands on the shoulder. But yeah, that was a lot of fun doing that. Yeah, with the blue jacket. Yep. That's it. All right. So just give me a moment, and I'll send through that. Done.
just says, is it true that you've read every single issue that's in the comic store?
Does skim count as reading?
No.
No. Well, in that case, no.
Did we get
Detective
Jonathan's
Budgie
panel
is
yet?
awesome.
Yeah, I just sent it now.
Yeah, just got it in. Yeah, Detective Budgie's great. So I will stop sharing my screen and wreck everything. Oh, nope. There you go. And I'll turn this off. So I'm going to build the page while the scissors muted, so you guys will have to talk about something. Oh, scissors going to show you some stuff. There you go.
Oh yeah. Hang on.
So there's Adam's Instagram. Tell us about all the stuff we're seeing there, Adam.
I don't post very often these days. So some of that has been a while ago. Some fan art, Superman fan art. There's some like drink and draws in there. And sometimes I just share like old stuff if I come across it in my phone, like that Dick Tracy. I think I shared it when Dick Tracy was on the drink and draw, but I did that as part of like a June Toon challenge years ago. So modeled after the 60s cartoon. So a lot of a few pages from Sobek Lives and some reshares from older art. So. Rock and Roll Fairies, that was a fun book. That one you were just circling, those two guys sitting on the park bench. They're comic characters that my mate Colwyn and I created in maths class in like year 9 instead of doing maths. I want to say loosely based on Tank Girl, but pretty much wholesale ripped off of Tank Girl. It's Scooter Boy and his mate Duck Boy, and this was an updated middle-aged version of them. Which I
Nice.
did. Yeah. And some paintings. Been getting back into painting. Hadn't painted for a few years, so was just sort of like trying to just have some fun with it, play around with the canvas and the paints. My daughter and I like to have painting day where we set ourselves up in a room and just paint whatever takes our fancy, whether it be a landscape or James Earl Jones, something like that.
That's cool. We'll jump over to Jonathan's now.
That's it.
Oh, that was awesome.
So lately I've been, one of the things I miss about, like when I'm working on a comic, just, focus on the comic. And one thing I like doing is doing studies and just brushing up on my anatomy. So a lot of these, if you click them, they're videos of the animation short I'm working on. It's not going to trigger any copyright thing. I think I like what's that artist called? He does like that famous "You're a Strange Girl" song that's used in all the American Psycho memes. So that some of those videos have that as a background music. But yeah. So if you click the one that says Ink with Shadow, that will just show you my process. So when I do an animation, I do the storyboard, rough animation, tie downs, and then again, I'm still deciding if I'm going to use Clip Studio Paint to do the finishing for the whole thing, or if I'm going to just, do it in Toon Boom, which I did my last 0 point short in. But yeah, that's just a nice breakdown of the process.
Cool.
And yeah, and that one there with it's funny. Doing any type of walking or running animation is like the hardest thing you can do. So click that one. It's there. That took me like a couple of days to do that. And of course, because it's got all that that gear on, you have to keep make sure that because it's coming to the camera, so you got to keep that all in perspective and making sure that looks right and that still still looks good. And one of the things when you're doing animation is to be aware of not so line work the line work and weight is important, but I think people will tend to notice if your volumes of like the figures are fluctuating more than if there's a bit of line frying, as they call it, with a line is moving a bit, because obviously you can't draw the same line twice. More studies, and that 0.1 in the middle is a test where I did kind of trying to emulate what I would do in Toon Boom Harmony. Oh yeah, this is a fun one. It's like a first-person hand-drawn perspective shot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So again, that's all no 3D. Like I didn't copy that off like 3D. I just eyeballed it. Oh yeah, and then you got a fun one of again. Here the latest pages from the last 0 point. I did the final volume, and you got some fan art, Transformer fan art on the left there, left of Wing Commander. Of because again, I want to that there of is based off the guys my age remember. There was a European exclusive line of Transformers in the early 90s called the Turbo Masters. So that's Boss. And then obviously just page from 0 Point Origins Part 4, where Magnus finally meets Kyle. And as I said, this is all stuff from my comic 0 Point Origins, which you can get on wildnorthcomics.com.
Cool. All right. Let's have a look at the page. And here we go. So we got Adams. I'm going to find my mouse. There it is. Oh. Excuse me. We got Adams panel. Oh. Sorry about that. My leg need to reach it. And let's have a look at the nice leg detail there for Nick. And then we got the craziness of Jonathan's panel.
Yeah, I just sent another one. I forgot I didn't turn off the perspective grid.
It's okay. And you got the UFO. That looks really cool. I like the panels on the UFO. I like the detail on the ring too. You got the little holders holding the diamond in. We got some more leg action. And then we got the dithering to show you where the Bitzy's getting tractor beamed in.
Yeah, I stole that from Tomo Katsuhiro. In Akira the manga, you'll do that to show light, where you'd put do that with the tone, just to kind of show that there's light there, or in his really crazy background shots, you do it to actually emulate the fog effect you get from seeing something in the distance, which I love those kind of techniques that were invented during those analog the analog years of making comics. Nowadays you can just put make an opaque layer or something, but back then the guys had to figure out how to do it with ink and paper and dot tones.
Yeah, screen tones.
That's it.
So we've got, love the double line on the outlines, Adam. There's a nice halo around everyone.
Thank you. Yeah,
what a great page. Well done.
awesome. Just helps keep the important part of the page separate from the space, I find.
And both well done. Lots of detail for such a short time, which is true. And that will do us for tonight. Thanks to Dave and everyone who commented. And thanks to Adam and Jonathan for coming on tonight and drawing such awesome panels.
Always a pleasure.
And thanks to Sis for almost being muted with his spooky voice. Thanks to everyone that watched and commented, and to Jeffrey who's going to watch it later, and everyone else who's going to watch it later. There we go. Don't want it to be over. I think that'll do us for tonight. So if you want to play us out, Sis, we'll get going. So thanks everyone. See ya.
That's it. Thanks for watching.
See ya.